New Hampshire said she's done. I think they've got
Okay.
a senator in Michigan who's a Democrat senator who's already said that they're done.
Okay.
Um, I, you know, I mean,
Do you
things
think
could
that
go
may
bad
affect?
with the U.S. economy, but right now, um, I kind of think some of the Democrats are realizing they have talked themselves into a weird box where, you know, the stuff they're preaching just doesn't appeal to the American voter anymore.
Rahm Emanuel said the other day something like, I want to stop talking about locker rooms and bathrooms and talk about classrooms. And I thought, yeah, I'm sure you did because this is, you're like Trump said, you're fixing to be a minority party if you
Yeah,
keep
this
going
is a
down this path.
losing issue for them. I mean, I kind of think there there is an agenda going forward for Democrats. I mean, you can be, oppose Trump and oppose cuts to government agencies and, ignore the deficit. And, there's stuff, there are talking points, Ukraine is certainly a talking point for the Democrats. Um, but you let the nuts in your party. I mean, the Republicans have had that in the past where the nuttiest element in the party is, directing the conversation. And right now, it's the Democrats that have that problem.
On that Ukraine, stay on that subject. What do you think about the ceasefire? You think it's going to hold?
I don't think we have a ceasefire yet, do we? We've got the,
I
you know,
thought,
the,
okay,
I
maybe I'm
think
getting ahead of
we've
myself.
got we've got principles. Both sides agree to a ceasefire in principle, but they don't actually haven't agreed to a ceasefire yet.
Okay, all right, well, maybe I'm getting ahead of myself here. Do you think it's going to come to
I mean,
fruition
I'm
or?
hoping by the time someone sees this, there is a ceasefire. But Ukraine just made a huge error on the battlefield, and I think the Russians have exploited it. And I don't know that Putin is in a mood right now to do a real ceasefire at this moment. I mean, for viewers who
Hmm.
may not have been aware, earlier this week, a crack team of Russian infantry, as bizarre as this sounds, crawled their way through a unused natural gas pipeline
I mean,
to get behind Russian forces I mean, Ukrainian forces on the Ukraine-Russian border. And because Ukraine had invaded the Kursk region of Russia, was holding Russian ground, all of a sudden that army, their supply line was threatened to be cut off by the Russians. Because all of a sudden these guys popped out of nowhere, threatening, right there on Ukraine supply routes. So as of this morning, Ukraine was pulling most of its forces out of the Kursk salient, for fear that it could be cut off. Because,
gosh.
they're already facing severe pressure from, waves of North Koreans around Kursk.
Yeah, that was, I don't care what people think, but that was an awesome military move that took, some big colonists to
Yeah,
pull off.
I don't know who did that, but that commander um, identified that weakness that apparently us and I mean US is advising Ukraine. We didn't see that weakness, Ukraine didn't see that weakness, and they were caught with their pants down. That was one reason why we abandoned, our policy of not giving more aid to Ukraine, because Ukraine was about to be in a mess. I mean, I'm hoping that, they can safely get their forces out of Kursk, without, having, large numbers of troops, either get overrun by the North Koreans or, have to surrender to the Russians.
So we've seen egg prices dropping. Seems like gas prices are dropping. I read something about
Well,
mortgage rates.
the eggs, is bird flu related. President Biden is fighting bird flu, and
Mhm.
they probably should have talked about this with Commissioner Rick Hay, but they killed millions of chickens. President Trump is cool, but it takes like 5 months to grow a chicken from an egg to where she's actually laying eggs. So I mean, a whole bunch of chicken farms had to be depopulated, and they're just those egg farms are just coming back online. We should see more price drops in eggs as we get more toward, the later spring, as more chickens hit these little chickens hit puberty.
So,
Um,
but we see see signs of things like that. But then you look and um,
yeah, I think I got
consumer
gas today
confidence.
at 2.39.9 a gallon.
Yeah, but consumer confidence seems like it's shaky. Is the media trying to plant this false image in people's head that the economy's tanking? I mean, to get them
I
to
do
shake.
think there are some liberals in the mainstream press that are uh, intentionally trying to talk us into a recession.
Yeah, that's what I
That
mean.
said,
Absolutely.
investors have legitimate concerns about a possible trade war. I'm hoping that Trump gets better deals with our trading partners and that we can get over this soon. But Trump's in an unenviable place. We've had real bad trade policy for decades where other countries put, tariffs on us and our goods so that they can protect their own domestic industries. And then we don't respond in kind here. So, then we have, these weird, trade deficits with these other countries where it's like, American cars. I mean, Ford, if they wanted to make the Focus and just start dumping them by the thousands in China, they can't do that. They couldn't do that before the trade war. Uh, and so I'm for free trade and fair trade, but I mean, you can't have free trade without fair trade.
I mean, yeah. One I wish they would kind of let go is because we got to pick our battles. I wish they would back off Canada.
I think Canada is an easy target because our economy is so much bigger than Canada that uh, they really can't fight a protracted trade war with us. And we finally got rid of Prime Minister Trudeau. You know, he is gone. We've got another liberal in there. But I think once they have elections, yeah, you're going to get a conservative majority in their parliament, a conservative prime minister. I kind of think we can work better with that because by their law, they have to call elections before like October. And according to all the polling, the Trudeau's party, I think it's Labor,
Yeah.
is going to get crushed.
Um. So I was thinking of the taxes right now. Y'all talked to somebody the other day, and I'm trying to get this through to people. Was going back to the tax cuts of Reagan. And I brought up, I said, look, there's never, when Reagan cut the taxes, I think it added like 109% increase in revenue. I mean, it's not the money we're bringing
Well, I
in,
mean,
it's
the
the money
Trump
we're,
tax increase, if you take out the pandemic, the Trump tax cuts led to, a tremendous increase in federal revenues. The problem is that we keep adding more federal spending on top
that's
of
what I
federal
thought.
spending. It's like I hate it that like UAB is going to get, or I mean, any of our universities may get less federal research dollars, but you just can't keep borrowing money from future revenues to pay for adding government services, or more grant programs or more subsidies for the states, or bailing out California again. At some point you've got to make these budgets balance.
Yeah, that's what I was
I
telling
mean,
him
to
as
me,
well.
letting the Trump tax cuts expire would just be postponing the inevitable, which is you've got to downsize, some of these federal agencies and bureaucracies. And I mean, we're not going to be able to get the same level of benefits that we get now. Like
That's why I was
we're
going.
paying money to, you know, people that came here quasi legally, and they don't have a job, don't have a prospect of a job. A lot of them are down $24,000 in assistance to new immigrants. And it's like, why are we paying people to come here and not work?